the Cajun capital of the world.
I'm the average Lafayette, Louisiana kid.
See, I'm back on my...
Hey, fellas. Hey, Brady Review said, congratulations. Say what's up, y'all. Yeah!
People that have courage don't have no extra gene and no difference in you. The difference is, are you going to sit down when it's time to stand up?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another edition of Ragin' Review. The boys are back to talk all things Cajun. I'm sure at some point we'll be raging as well. We got my boy KG here tonight. We've got Jerry, and we've also got the game. We will be streaming the game at the bottom, just to keep us updated on what's going on with basketball. Last score I saw was, I think it was 48-47 Cajuns, right, KG? Was that the last score that I saw?
I think they're up to 51-47 now. I think they scored again during the intro. So
All right. Well, fingers crossed the boys will pull that off tonight, man. Wouldn't that be huge if they pulled off a win on the road at JMU? Would be a really, really good thing for the boys. Guys, let's take a quick break. We're going to thank our sponsors. When we come back, we'll get started with the conversations. Look forward to y'all chiming in. A couple of special guests coming in later. Hang tight. We'd like to thank the following partners who make Ragin' Review possible. Our title sponsor, the Best Stop Family Market, with locations in Katy and Baytown, Texas, Toledo Bend, Karen Crow, and of course the official location opened in 1986 in Scott. Visit the Best Stop and ask about the Ragin' Review tailgate platters. Gulf Coast Bank, title sponsor of the Tailgate Show every Saturday, 3 hours before kickoff. Planet Radio 106.7, Lafayette Roofing, The Yard Goat, Yes Please Branding and Marketing, Old Time Grocery, Stride Safety Solutions, Eat Lafayette brought to you by Lafayette Travel, Ragin' Hydration, and Dr. Brett Venable at Recovery Chiromed. And we'd also like to thank our Patreon sponsors listed here. For only $2 a month, you too could have early access to uncut interviews before they air here on our shows. You also get an exclusive Patreon icon next to your name on Cajun Threads, the official message form for Ragin' Review. If you are interested in joining as a Patreon, visit us at patreon.com/Ragin' Review. Thanks to all of our corporate and Patreon sponsors for making this show possible. Thanks once again to our fantastic sponsors that make Ragin' Review possible. And as we look at the bottom, 53-47 Cajuns with a lead against James Madison. Man, this makes me nervous. I hate basketball, especially when it comes to this point of the game. And every little thing counts just like that, and it pisses me off. You could play the entire game for the last 5 minutes, and I just don't like it. Boys, let's talk about baseball. We have a few things to talk about. An article that came out today, I think, right here. Let's see, where is it? Excuses from Right Heart Ragin'. That should have been our episode title for tonight, but this is the truth. The excuses are raging. And boys, I got to tell you, looking at Kevin Foote's article today, we'll get into that a little bit. Don't want to overshadow the fact that the baseball team got in front of the press today. There was a nice presser with several different players. They had, or I should say, Deggs announced what his starting rotation will look like. Of course, he won't discuss the lineup because he might change that 15 times before opening day in 2 weeks. But it was good to finally get back into the swing of things, seeing some baseball news out there, seeing them getting ready for baseball. And we got to talk about Jose Torres as well. But don't know if you guys had a chance to see the pressers today. I think we had some pretty good content, and our boy from from News 15, Will is going to send us some stuff maybe during this show because he was there. He asked a couple of questions on our behalf. So hopefully we get those clips before the end of the night. But, overall thoughts going into baseball season. I know we kind of talked about it last week, but we never really got our thoughts on the feeling. Are we going to be okay this year? I'll start with you, KG, from just a fan perspective after last season being super disappointed. What do you feel going into this baseball season, and how do you feel about any of the content or quotes or anything that you saw from those conversations today?
Well, I'll start with how I feel going into the season. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm pretty even keel. This is, and I'm standing by it. I said it about a month ago in one of our shows. This is the least excited I've been for a season, but at the same time, it's still Cajuns baseball. I'm still gonna be there. Opening day, opening weekend, and getting after it with the boys, having a good time at the tailgate. So don't want to be off-putting in that regard. The lineup got older, the pitching got better, at least on paper. So there is a chance for us to improve. But with the way things went last year, on and off the field, we talked about in the last show, had some culture issues, had some chemistry issues. I'm kind of holding my breath until I see an improvement in that regard. Now, as far as today goes, I was a little bit surprised to see Ty Roman, a transfer, going to be the Friday night guy going into the season. We really thought that it was going to be J.R. Tillett, a guy who was red hot at the end of the season. I'm hearing great things about Ty Roman. Everybody that I talked to that went to the winter games or the spring games, whatever you want to call the games that took place 2 or 3 weeks ago, they said he threw very well, and they were expecting him to be in the starting rotation. Maybe not in a Friday night role, but certainly in the starting rotation. So that's the most surprising takeaway I had today from Deggs, is that Ty Roman is going to be getting the ball on Friday night. But with that to be said, that is an experienced transfer. That's a guy that's thrown, in the place that he was before he came here. He's an older guy, and that's what Deggs wanted. He wanted to get older in the portal with experienced players, and that's exactly what he did. So we're going to see what Ty Roman has for this ball club early and often, hopefully. If he could take the ball and literally shove it, the sky could be the limit for us, at least on the Friday night, and that would be a check mark, going forward. So, but I'll turn it to Jerry. I know... go ahead.
Well, before we go with that, I did want to throw this up there, and this might be some talk for you, Jerry, as well. Looking at the baseball preseason poll, Cajuns at 5th. I wouldn't have expected anything else. I think the most disappointing part, not one single player on the preseason All Sun Belt Conference team. Good. They're going to have to earn their stripes this year, man. But looking at this, nothing is surprising. I think the only thing that jumps out to me is the fact that we got one first place vote. I don't know if that was our coach. I know Robe had a history. Robe never voted against the Cajuns. He always put his vote in there, and deservedly so. We were always in the top 3 in the conference. So, thoughts on the preseason poll. What are your thoughts first, Cole?
So I'm going to go back to the coaches getting a vote. I've always thought that the coach should not be able to vote for their own team just to kind of spread out the votes and, make it fair across the board. Because, if I was a coach that got to vote for my own team, I would vote for my own team as well. But no, this doesn't shock me. The top 3 teams in the Sun Belt, that's a lock, right? Those are 3 teams that are absolutely red hot going into the season between Coastal, Southern Miss, and Troy. You got a very good Marshall team or a much improved Marshall team. I'll say this. Arkansas State is a little bit lower than what I thought. Arkansas State is going to shock a lot of people in the Sun Belt this year. I think they're going to make a little bit of noise. So, but I like us right there as the 5th spot. That's a respectable placement. If I'm being honest with you, I think that's just the history of Cajuns baseball and what our peers think of us. Now, whether we live up to that spot, it's going to be determined with, whether the transfers that came in, if they show up and they show out right away, if the pitching is much better than it was last year. I can't imagine it's going to be any worse. But no, I like us in that 5th spot, and I think it's very respectable in comparison to the league.
Jerry, your thoughts from today and also what you see as far as the preseason poll goes.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch Matt Deggs' press conference today. A few things that stood out to me. Number one, I think the big question mark is going to be Taylor Sandover's presence, being the new pitching coach, as well as seeing, like like we've talked about earlier and what Cole mentioned, Ty Roman moving up to the Friday spot. Look, knowing our pitching weekend rotation under Matt Deggs, that tends to change. But obviously, they have a lot of high expectations for Ty Roman. I believe he was conference pitcher of the year at San Jacinto. So he's got a lot to bring to the table. J.R. Tillett and Andrew Herman, I mean, those are the obvious picks for the next 2 days, which is good because we do have some experience on the back end of the weekend series. One thing that stood out to me was Blaze Rodriguez going to be starting at shortstop. That's going to be one that he's a freshman, but one thing that Matt Deggs said that stuck out to me was the fact that he thinks he's ahead of Debo when Debo was starting out at the shortstop position. Granted, his bat not quite up to par yet, but with experience that'll come. He's still working on it. But that's strong words for somebody coming in as a true freshman or a freshman starting at one of the more important positions in the infield. Also, too, we'll see that Colt Brown, another freshman, will be starting at catcher for a little while Jose tries to heal his knee up a little bit. I know his knee's banged up. And then also, too, one thing that he said was he feels like this new class compared to last year is more ready to go and more ready to play. He mixed in some of those JUCO guys. He said this team's a little more on the refreshing side of things because he says they're more coachable and they all seem to be on the same page. So there's a few expectations for these newcomers coming in and then some of these transfers. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But as far as talent goes, obviously, you have new guys coming in, you have a lot of young talent, but not many people know who they are outside of us. Like, we talk about them. We know who Colt Brown is. We obviously know who Blaze Rodriguez is, but all these prognosticators don't. So of course, being picked fifth, it doesn't bother me too much. I like kind of being under the radar. I think actually being picked fifth after last season's finish, obviously the brand name.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah, the brand name gives us some. The brand name gives us some respect. A little surprised that Marshall's picked that high. I guess they had kind of a breakout season based on their standards, so it makes sense to have high expectations. Very surprised that they were picked fourth. I think when it's all said and done, if we play the baseball that we're capable of playing and the pitching is a lot better than what happened last season, top four finish is not unrealistic. Obviously, you've got Coastal and Troy and you've got Southern Miss, but after that, it's fair game. And I really think we have a chance if these younger guys can step up to get it done. But it's a wait and see game once again, just like last year.
Yeah, and Keb, I love Keb, man. Keb is the sunshine pumping guy, but I actually agree with him on this. I'm actually more excited this year because I feel like last year wasn't normal. I mean, that the way things played out, that's not normal in any baseball scenario, especially with the Cajuns, with our history, especially the past 3 years. It's not something that you see. So you feel like that was a one-off. So I'm excited about the news guys coming in. And let's face it, boys, like the days of just having these young high school kids come in and play with you for 5 years, it used to be 4. Now it's 5 or 12. I mean, depending on what the NCAA decides. It's, I'm excited about it, but I'm always excited for baseball season. I don't know if it's because it's baseball, because that saying, well, that's baseball. That's how I feel in this case as well. And then Colorado Cajun Elliott agreeing with me. Yeah, I'm with you. I love the enthusiasm, but baseball is different than football. And turning my attention now to the game at the bottom, keeping my eye on that. Try not to get distracted, boys. I'm trying not to get distracted, but we're going to go ahead and finish off the basketball game because there's only 2:20 left unless we start the whole foul thing. And now we can't hit a shot. Now we can't hit.
Yeah, you got to make these
now we
shots,
can't hit a
man.
shot.
Go up 2 possessions with 2 minutes to go.
And then we have 3 chances at the basket, man.
You got to finish, man.
Are we going to send them to the line again?
Yes, we are. I will say, whatever, like, obviously, we really want to win this game. But, man, I can't tell you, this team down the stretch has looked like a completely different team than what we saw in the first 10 games of the season. You're finally seeing they're gelling. They're playing as a unit. The communication on the court, the fluidity on the court compared to what it was. I mean, the first 10 games, it was all ISO. Pass on top of the key and ISO. I feel like they're passing the ball a lot better. Their shot selections are a lot better. I've noticed a few of the hybrid guys have been able to step up and drive down the lane a lot more aggressively than what we saw in the first half of the season. So, man, you get a full healthy team under what Coach White is trying to build. And I think next year can be a lot of fun.
To steal a quote from Hank Hill when you're talking about ISO, whatever. Son, I don't know what the hell you were just talking about, because I really don't. I just know
Isolation.
They throw the ball,
isolate.
they pass the ball, they shoot the ball. But I feel like the passing is a lot crisper too, because I was watching. But one of the most important things about Q, and we knew this about him coming in, and we still know this about him, even though the team isn't performing up to what our expectations were, is that his recruiting. I mean, we've got a commitment from the number 1 guy in Louisiana, from the number 2 guy in Oklahoma, in the state of Oklahoma, and we're the number 46 ranked recruiting team in the country. 46 recruiting. Like, we couldn't have sniffed that 2-3 years ago. Now, that doesn't mean anything. You know, again, like, we've got some really talented players on our current team, and it's just not, again, working out the way that we wanted to. But at the same time, you're number 46 in the country in recruiting. That's pretty damn good. So we know we got a good recruiter on our hands. We just got to come up with some money to keep the good guys. You see, this is when I can't watch basketball, man. You see, they do this stuff, and then I get aggravated, then I turn it off, and I don't watch. That's what happens. And then they're going to, yep, there you go. Can't score, man.
Yeah,
Can't
this is
score,
one thing
KJ.
that the Cajuns have to learn how to do a little bit better. We've seen it a lot this year. In tight ball games down the stretch, they let it go. But listen, it's a 1-point game, and you still got what? It's hard for me to see 113, 115 left.
Yeah, 113.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still within reach. I'm not saying it's not, but Jerry, we were talking about it when you just came in the lobby, you know, for the show, that they blew 2 really big leads in this game alone. And forgive me if I'm getting it wrong, but they were just up 5 with 2.5 to go. I mean, that's you can't squander that going cold. And I'll say this, a lot of the shots we just took, especially, you know, the last 2 or 3 are just not falling. But no, going back, they got to find a way to get over the hump, especially in these tight games, find a way to close out. But overall, Nick, you're exactly right. They are a totally different team than they were early in the season. And don't forget, guys, I don't want to make it, you know, a habit to say this, but we are still an injured team, and they're playing well through these injuries. So, yeah, next year is going to be a lot of fun, and honestly, the end of this year is going to be a lot of fun. I think we're, maybe 3 games out of first place right now?
Yeah.
So you find a way to win this game. You're riding a 3-game winning streak. I mean, it's the Sun Belt. Anything can realistically happen. So this season's not over, but yeah, I agree with you guys, especially with the recruiting class that Q has put together. Next year is going to be a lot of fun with a lot of young guys. So we'll
That's
just
why
have
they
to
call
wait
it
and
the
see.
Fun Belt, man. It's the Fun Belt
Fun
for a
Belt.
reason, baby. Fun Belt for a reason. Just everybody joining, just an update. JT is running a little bit late. He's caught up in some Shaws. So unfortunately, we may have to reschedule JT. He's trying his best to make it in time for our show, but he got caught up in some stuff out in, I believe he's in Arizona right now, he was saying. So he's doing a little bit of traveling, but we'll carry it until we get our next Cajun great coming in a little bit if JT can't make it tonight, but he's doing his best to get here, boys. You'll just have to look at our smiley faces until another Cajun legend shows up later in the game. There we go, right here. Let's get a 3. Oh, no. Let's get a 3. Let's get a 3.
wait.
Trey
Boom!
Bien,
A
baby.
3. There you go.
Trey Bien.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right.
See, there's your plus. You know, JT not on time if he comes
I
at
know.
all. But
Well,
at least we
yeah,
got a tight game. You know, at
I'm
least we got
kind
a
of
tight
glad
game
he's
to talk
late.
about.
I'm kind of glad he's late because I wouldn't want to interrupt him, you know, because the whole time I would be watching this while talking to him, and that's not fair to JT. I got some good question to ask him.
I mean, he can watch with us if he wants. I mean,
He might get into it. Yeah.
But no, let's talk about that real quick. You know, we talked a lot about early in the season when we were losing to some bad teams. Let's call it. I mean, there were some
by
bad
a
teams.
lot
It was,
too.
Yeah.
It was
They
almost.
they weren't close
Yeah.
games either.
It was almost an unwatchable product, and the script has flipped. I mean, this is a fun team to watch again. Now we are shooting a lot better from behind the arc. You know, the last month or so.
Much better. Yeah.
Yeah, and that plays a big part of it. I mean, man, I looked at our stats last week. Now this is before the Georgia games. Man, we took like 550 something 3-point attempts, and I was like, holy cow! But that's our offense, man. You know, especially with the injuries. But like I said, a credit to them. They've been shooting pretty well from behind the arc lately, and that's the reason we've been winning these games.
Yeah,
wonder how-
I agree, Elliot, about women's basketball sinking ship, but it's one of those things where it's a we have to have it. and I struggle with the cuts right now. I just don't think they're going to do anything. I don't know, man. I agree. And Broadhead, poor guy, he was put in such a bad position this year because he can't even hire a staff. Like, that's how bad things are budget wise. So I feel bad for Broadhead. I feel like we did him dirty this year.
I like Broadhead, but I mean, and we're age in review. We say truth, right? I'm going to say this. I never call for anybody's job, and this is not me calling for his. But paying over $250,000 for that head coaching position in what we have 2 or 3 wins this season, it's kind of your ROI right there is not great. So I mean, there's a lot of housekeeping and cleaning up we got to do in athletics. I mean, that record has got to improve because you can't justify the contract to what the record is on the court.
No, I agree with you, but then again, he is so unfairly disadvantaged this season. Like, I don't want to. It's just hard for me to want them to make a change at this point because did they call a foul there too? Good God, man.
So let's go ahead and we'll put us on the side, Nick. Let's blow this up.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we're under a minute, so let's make this the.
I guess I'm not.
Let's
happy
make this
about
the
this.
show.
All right.
Oh, look,
you don't wanna see
I
my
didn't
big
say let's
face.
make you
What's
the
up,
show.
y'all?
Everybody
What's
watch
up, y'all?
Nick.
How y'all doing? Oh man.
How do you call an and one on that? What did I miss something
Sunned
here?
out, man. No, you didn't. That's why I said they're not going to call a foul on that, are they? And they sure did.
That's some trash.
I tell you what, the last 3 minutes or so, JMU's actually been doing us a favor at the line. I think they've missed 2 or 3 free throws to keep us in it. So, but man, this would be a big win. And man, every time I see Napier on screen, it kind of makes
what? All they have done is talk about Napier tonight. Well, he's not happy about that call.
But you got to rebound.
All right, there you go.
Good.
So we could get the last shot here. Well,
no, you
almost.
Can't.
Almost. Are they going to really try to foul us?
No.
I mean, it would kind of be smart if they did send us to the line, but not at this point.
Them putting Napier on screen.
Come on. Let's go.
I mean, that's all on purpose.
Guys.
You got a Lafayette audience watching this. Just be efficient.
Oh, no.
That's
Okay,
all right.
rebound,
That's all right. That's
rebound.
all right. That's all right.
Now you got the last shot.
Wait. Oh my God.
Hit
Give me
it
that
for the win.
three. Give me
Hit it
that
for the
three.
win. Go! Let's go!
Let's go.
Clip
Wow.
it. Clip it.
Wow.
Oh
Bang!
my goodness.
Wow. And you just saw that on Rage and Review, baby.
Are you kidding
Let's
me?
go.
Let's go.
Dishes it out top of the key. Shoots it from 3. Bang!
What are they looking at? Are they looking at whether or not he got the 3 off? I mean, he was a foot behind the line.
What a shot.
Oh, that was clutch.
Was that Finister?
That was Darian Finister.
Oh,
Darian
yeah.
Finister.
I'm telling JT, take your time, bud. We got basketball to talk about.
Dorian Finister leads.
Let's go.
Did you just wake up your daughter, Jerry?
No, my dog's freaking out. Finn's freaking out. Kayla came in, and I was like, yeah, we just hit a 3. She's on the phone. She let the dog out, so.
Who let the dogs out?
Who let the dogs out? Dorian Finster let the dogs out. That's who.
It's funny. I've got a Vesta board. Y'all have seen that thing. It's a little letters that shells around, and it makes a
Oh, my goodness.
So I've got one of those. The quote on it today is, me. I did it. I let the dogs out. That's pretty funny.
That's funny.
It's funny that you said that.
Finish him. Finish him. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Finish him off.
And don't foul from behind the arc.
Yeah, it'll take a Miracles here, so please
At
don't
worst,
be stupid.
yeah, at worst, let them tie.
Touch the ball.
Don't
Touch the
let
ball.
them tie. I'm just saying, don't foul from behind the arc and you get out of here with a W. A big W.
God, against James Madison would be great. They are some cocky mother effers.
Especially for Billy Napier.
Look.
God.
Free throws. Y'all saw the free throws? JMU free throws, 8 of 19. They did us
That's
all
bad.
kind of favors tonight.
That's bad.
That was
But
what we
again,
were
that's
doing in
another
the first
coach.
half
They
of
were
the
just
season.
saying, they like to foul, and the coach made sure he let the refs know it.
Ooh, that's all right. That's okay. Hey,
What you mean that's okay? That's great. Yeah, you got to catch and shoot. I don't even think
Oh,
it's...
no, now
it's,
they're going to go look at the thing and say, no, it's 1 second on the clock or something
But I don't think it's physically possible.
Yeah, he's going to have to, tap it up, but... Oh, my gosh. Hey,
Wow.
if we hold on, I'm just telling y'all, don't let the Cajuns get hot, fellas.
Bruh, no, don't start. I came up with that,
if we
Jerry.
hold
I don't
it
want to
up-
hear that shit. I came up with that way before you.
Well, I just said it. So piss off.
Shout out Dorian Finister, man. First on
Audio
the team
version.
first on the team in scoring and second on the team in 3-point percentage, and he was able to knock down a potential game winner right there. That's huge.
But you know what? It goes back to the shot selection. It goes back to the way they pass the ball. You know, the first half of the season, Overa probably tries to drive and force a shot, right?
Right.
The vision now and the way they pass, and I saw it against Georgia Southern the other day. They're just so much more crisp offensively, and I feel that chemistry is starting to really, really click.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
And look, let's be honest, guys. Like we talked about, the Sun Belt's not that great. I mean, you got Central Michigan coming to town on Saturday, winnable game with that MAC Challenge, Sun Belt Challenge. And then you've got Coastal Carolina at home. They're not that good. Then you go to ODU. We got some winnable games coming up.
Yeah. And you're playing it red hot right now.
Did you see what he was yelling? Do not foul. That's all you want to do is just
Honestly,
not foul
look,
here.
they say, you know, Rage Cajun
they're all
King
within
says
the
right
arc,
here.
so.
No, Rage Cajun King says right here, don't even defend. Let them
Yeah.
have I mean, they got to catch it and shoot it from behind the arc
From
to
three,
tie
right.
the game.
Yeah, good luck.
Why even play defense? Just put your hands up and stay still.
Yeah, but okay, so
That's
now
it.
it's,
That's it. That's game.
Yeah.
We win, baby. That's it. That's it.
I think
Ball
he might have
game.
made. Did he make that?
Ball game. He made it. But it doesn't matter. He
it
made
didn't
it.
matter.
No, but
That's
the fact
ball
that
game.
he
We did
made
it.
that.
I don't think he did. I think
Well,
it
they
looked
might-
like he did.
Yeah, the buzzer. Look, they're gonna
Cajuns
review it.
win, fellas. Cajuns win.
That's called a winning streak.
Wow. Against JMU, man. Isn't
Two
JMU in first? I mean, I know they're up
No.
there. aren't
No.
I think it's still
They're having
Troy.
a down year.
they? Oh, really? Well, well,
I
They're
think it's
having
still
a down
Troy.
year.
I was hopeful. Screw them. Oh, you want to bring
Three
Napier back
game
on?
winning
Show
streak.
Napier now, jerks. Anyway,
What a win.
sorry.
What a win.
Congrats to
Nicely
Coach
done,
Q.
boys.
Hey,
Nicely
congrats to
done,
great,
Dor-
boys.
great W.
Dorian Finister, way to go, man. Great job.
So
know
the
what's
Cajuns.
great? Go ahead.
Good. Well, the Cajuns are now 8-18 on the year, but they're on a 3-game win streak, and they're 6-6 in conference. So
Well, we
That's
talk
good
about it all
stuff.
the time. Once you get to conference, the conference record's all that matters. So
Yeah.
you can throw 8-18 out the window. All I care about is 6-6. And we talked about it. We're 3 games out of first place. This might move us 2 games out of first place. We're right there, man. Just keep riding the wave. Keep playing good, clean basketball. We're shooting better from the free throw line. We're not fouling as much as we were earlier in the season. Dumb fouls is what I'm talking about. And it finally
Oh, we're fouling.
Well, it finally seems like, though, that we're playing better ball down the stretch. And we always
Right.
talked about if we can clean that up, we can be a dangerous team.
agree. Hell of a win, boys. Hell of a win.
That was good stuff, man. Good stuff. I'm trying to find something on here that I want to share. I have to pull it up later, but I want to keep talking about baseball, but I'm too excited about this, man.
Demontre said you got to cue up celebration.
You don't play that for basketball, bro, or do they?
I don't know what it's too expensive to bring my family of 5, buddy.
And that's
Get a-
for the cheap seats, right?
Get them out of the Cajun Dome and we can have a conversation.
There you go. All right, so let's get back to baseball. Let's start talking about those guys again. I'm going to share the all Sunbelt team again. No Cajuns on that team, but some familiar faces that we love to hate. One of them is this guy here, Blake Cavell, the first baseman from Troy, who is the guy who hikes his pants up like a sissy boy. Can't stand the way that he carries himself. But if he were on my team, I'd love the guy. I love the guy.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he actually played for the Savannah Bananas or did something with them before he went to Troy. I might be wrong, but I think he did. But no, going
But
back
I think
to
maybe the regular Savannah Bananas, because there's the team that's goofy as hell, but then there's also the Savannah Bananas
Oh, my
play team.
goodness.
So I think it was the real summer league team. Cajuns are 3-0 since the Jenny tweet. Wow.
Let's check up. Hey, let's check up on what's North Florida doing right now? What are they, like 3-20 now? What are they? What are they?
I don't know. Their downfall continues.
They're a lot worse. They're a lot worse than we are.
They are a lot worse than we
But no,
are.
going back to the Sunbelt selections for us, Nick, that's really why we got left out. I mean, with Chase Morgan, if Chase Morgan was healthy, he would have probably got a nod.
All day he'd be on there.
But the problem is when you go past Chase Morgan, I would say Lee Amadei is probably the next in line to get that kind of a nod, but he's behind Cavell. And then you got Torres, but, you know, you got Stockman. I'm looking at who's at the catcher position. Stockman for Southern Miss, man, is a stud. So, but I'm not surprised to see the Cajuns off the board, and kind of like we picked in the rankings, we're off the radar right now. I'm okay with that. You got to prove yourself. Last year we were riding high. Expectations before the season, we were told that this is a regional or bust team, and then we didn't win. We couldn't win 30 games, and we got blown out at the end of the season by Marshall. So instead of being overly excited and overly optimistic, we're going to win the Sun Belt, rah rah ree. I'm going in even kill. I'm going to let the boys get on the field, figure it out, and play, and we'll see what happens. Let the chips fall where they may.
I want to kick Colby Allen's ass at the Teague this year. That's what I want. I want us to kick Colby Allen's ass at the Teague in front of a packed house. I want to run him out of the game. That's what I want to do. In the second inning, I want him out. Ben Higdon, a really good outfielder for Southern Miss, but screw him because he's a Southern Piss player. Cameron Flukie, man, he's really, really good. I think he's, again, he's right there with if we could have SEMO back this season. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the boys can do and who's on the postseason list. That's what I want to see. I want to compare this to postseason All Sun Belt and see where we end up there. Boys, let's welcome special guests in lieu of JT right now. We got RC Ryan. What's going on, baby? How are you, Constable?
Let's go.
Man, I'm so happy right now. I'm about to stone cold cheers.
Do it, baby.
Oh, hell yeah.
That dude in his damn garage. Like, it sounds like he's in the, that show's on Harry Potter where you talk and he goes, hey, 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 like the big thing. That's what it sounds like you in, bro.
An echo chamber.
You got that echo Shaws.
Do I got a bad
No, it's not that bad. I'm just giving you shit.
Man. You're good, man. I know you were fired up when he hit that 3.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. They probably heard me at a KDNI.
Well, we got your boy coming on in a little bit. I'm glad you're able to join us for when Brad comes on. I'm sure we can relive some memories there.
Is he joining live or is it?
He's gonna be joining us live.
Live.
Yeah.
So RC, I got to ask you, man, obviously you're one of the bigger Cajun basketball fans, and we talked about this the other day after Georgia Southern. The chemistry of this team, the growing pains, we've seen it first month and a half. But seeing how far this team has come, including the injuries, as Cole mentioned, there's just something special about this team, man. And even though they're 8-18, even though they had such a slow start, not only are they fun to watch right now, but now I'm starting to believe, with the way the Sun Belt is kind of up for grabs, that this team can actually be a contender for the conference if this keeps going into next week.
Well,
Call Cat. This dude already ready for the tournament.
You damn right. And I want to hear what RC's opinion is on that.
I think I had said something on Threads the other day. It's imperative to get into the top 6 because whenever you get into the top 6, you got to go four games in 4 days. If you're out of the top 6, you're going 6-7, games in 6 or 7 days, and I don't think we have the depth to do that right now. But nah, don't do that. I think the only team that we really didn't match up well with was Troy, and every other game we could have and we should have probably won. We had the lead in the last few minutes. We gave it up. Stuff happened here and there, but I think they're finally realizing what their identities and their roles are on this team, and I think it could be fun down the stretch.
I mean, I'm enjoying the ride, bro. Where we started and where we are, and I was telling them, we know Q is a good recruiter, but when you look at the fact that he's got commitments from the number 1 player in Louisiana next year, the number 2 player in Oklahoma, we're the 46th ranked recruiting class in the entire country, first in the Sun Belt. If he's learning how to coach, he's learning how to win as a head coach. The guys are learning how to play together and win. If we can hold on to some of the guys from this season and then build on that next year, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. But I don't want to look ahead to that. I just think I'm enjoying the ride the rest of the season because we had zero expectation a few weeks ago. But we always knew we had talent. And now they're finally putting it together, man. I'm excited. I'm gonna take it.
Yeah,
I mean, look at your.
I think we were one. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, RC. Go ahead. No, go ahead, RC.
No, I was going to say I think we were one game behind JMU, and I think we were like in that cluster of like, you know, five, 6 losses or whatever, and it was like, I want to say the number 4 seed all the way down to like the 10th. So that's I'm trying to check the standings right now, and you know,
It's just crazy that we're 3 games out of first place, and now maybe even closer. That's insane.
Yeah, my thing hadn't updated, but we actually, so now we'll overtake. Okay, so they were 4 and 7. So
Yeah, I can look up the standings as well if you want.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on
Because we can
right
see
now.
the score updates. I'm trying to see who else is playing right now and how that would affect our rankings. So right now,
I know App State and Arkansas or South Alabama were playing earlier today, but I didn't see who won that game.
let me look it up. I can look it up for you while we're
The
on.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump coach of the Sun Belt. What's his name? He stands like Forrest Gump.
Richie Riley.
Like, this is the weirdest thing, man.
No, the only point I was going to make is that when you look at the scoring leaders for the Cajuns, I mean, you got Finister, who's a junior, Olvera is a sophomore, Laverne's a sophomore, Josh Lewis is a freshman. When you go down the list of scorers like this season, Woodson is the first senior that pops up on the list, and he's a senior. So
Here's one for you that's important. So Marshall is up 4 against Southern Miss with 45 seconds left. Southern Miss is 6-6. If we were to, I think if even though they have one more conference game, I think if they lose this game, we may jump them. Coastal and Arkansas State are tied at 66. They're going into overtime, but Arkansas State's 5-6 in conference play. Georgia Southern just lost. They're 6-6 in conference play. So we're
And it looks
actually,
like App won 65-57 according to Dougie.
they won 65-57. Georgia State is also 6-6 in conference play. Guys, we're tied for 3rd maybe now.
Where you at, Jenny?
Or no,
Where
I
you
think we're
at?
tied. We may be tied for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I want Jenny to top
7th.
now.
I think 7th, maybe 6th, or we're probably around somewhere between 5th and 7th.
Or 6 and 7?
I tell you what, you know, Demontre right here says Laverne's been clutch the last couple of games. I tell you what, Bilal has really
That
done a
dude
great
has
job.
really stepped up,
Plug,
yeah.
Aren't
getting
we
in
glad?
Dude.
Man, are we glad to get him back?
And you know what? I think this was one of Bilal's worst games since he's been here. And he still, but he gives quality minutes. If you really pay attention, you see how they're doing the rotations and the subs, and they're working them in. Well, he actually started tonight, but the way that they're doing the subs before the media timeouts, it's been working perfectly.
So go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
But I'm just saying, even though he didn't score a lot, and tonight, and he missed some shots, like he still played a hell of a game.
So ESPN has updated up-to-date standings. As of right now, we're in 7th.
We should do this right here.
We're in the upper half.
We should
That's
do
hilarious.
this. We should do this, sponsored by Rage and Review.
That's
Just have that in there.
hilarious.
But like, think about it. Like, she made that tweet
And we're through in a row,
not even
baby.
a week ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because we were second to last in the conference. We were 13th. Now we've moved up to the upper half of the conference as of right now to 7th place.
Burners, we need to keep retweeting that. Just keep retweeting after every win. Just retweet that. This would actually be funny. I think we need to come up with a meme, Jerry. I think that'd be
RC,
awesome.
are you a fan of the new playoff bracket? The higher seed plays less games. Do you like that style?
No, I just think if you finish in the top 4, you should probably get, like, I think it was before they changed it 2 years ago, like the top 4 made it to the quarterfinals. I think if you put the top 2 getting the automatic buys to the semifinals, I think that would probably be a little bit better. But having these kids play 7 days in a row, that, now it helps your top seeds, but just the way that bracket is formatted, I don't like it very much.
How would you? I mean, how would you have to fix that? Would you have to just invite less teams to the tournament to play less games?
Yeah. I think at one time, whenever we were at 14, I think they invited like the top 10, and then the first and second got a bye to the quarterfinals, and then I just always remember having to win 3 games. So
yeah, that's all we heard from the Big Fish. 3 games in March, baby. That's it.
Oh, speaking of which, I went to Tobacco Plus today.
Oh my!
I wouldn't tell Scotty that. People have a history of finding their spouses at Tobacco Plus. Tell Scotty back off. We're okay. We okay now. We fixed that.
Oh, God.
Oh, good times. We'll keep talking some basketball in a little bit when Brad shows up. But I do want to ask you boys regarding the and I want your input on this too, RC, on the press conference earlier today with some of the different baseball players. And I was just thinking, who has better riz? I'm going to start with this guy. All right. Lee Amadei going up there looking like a damn model. Like, he looks like the old Bab. Remember when Bab would walk out there, his hair slicked back, he was all, pumped up, jacked up. Lee looking like a damn model up there at the podium. But I also have to give some props, and I think I'm leaning towards Jose. Well, I don't know what that thing is above his mouth, but I think that gives him a little bit of riz, boys. So who you picking? If you have to pick who has more riz at the press conference today, is it your boy Jose, or is it the model-looking Lee Amadei?
So Lee's got the experience because his dad's in politics, right? So I mean, he's been there, done that. When you go up to a podium, you got to be tucked up, buttoned up, ready to roll. So Lee's got the game down because he's been around it his whole life. As far as Jose goes, I told you boys in the group chat, he looks like a firefighter from Lafayette Parish. I've seen a lot of firemen. My dad is a retired fire captain. I've seen a lot of firemen look exactly like Jose Torres right there. So my riz goes to the firefighters. Give me Jose.
Call cat. He said, that's awesome. Terry, who got the most riz?
I gotta go with Lee, man. He's got kind of that Fabio hairstyle. The beard, he's got that beard going. But I mean, I look at Jose. I guess it's the perfect screenshot with the eyes. I can't tell. He looks like
a fish out of water, man. It
really does, man. Like it's like the perfect. It is. I kind of see the fireman in him, Cole. I kind of see it now. It makes sense. It's like that old school Cajun look from like the 70s and 80s, where the stash was a big thing. I can see that in him a little bit, but I gotta go with because I mean with Lee, he's got the hair and the beard, so I gotta give. As much as I love Jose, I gotta give the small advantage to Lee on that one.
Hey, I just gotta say, Ryan, you talk about me, and look at this comment from Kev. Can we like refocus towards him now and get me off the hook? I'm tired of those jokes, brother. No, I'm not. I don't care. But who's got the better riz? Are you taking Jose or are you taking Amadei on that?
You got the mustache. I think that's an automatic winner.
That's what I'm saying.
Automatic winner.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's pretty good stuff. By the way,
Elliot, whenever Elliot can grow a mustache, he'll understand.
Yeah, Elliot's like 12, dude. He is like 12. But hey, I appreciate it. Then you do start growing a mustache and you grow hair in places you don't want to grow it. So that becomes a whole nother problem. We're not going to talk about that on this show. I saw the comment from our boy Adrian. He needs to apply for the open fire chief position. You know who is on that list of candidates? That would be Coach Doe is on the list for open fire chief position. So good luck to my brother as well. And he does have a stash. Elliot does have a stash. So
very nice. Very nice.
Our little guy is growing up. All right, boys, let's keep it on Cajuns athletics. Let's talk about the article that came out today from Kevin Foote. And I got to tell you, I didn't even read it because I know I would get pissed off, and I'm going to take a look at it later today. But the gist of the article is that we have folks. I'm not going to say folks. We have an article that was written that blames the budget shortfall in athletics on the lack of institutional support and the lack of ability for us to charge student fees. And that has not been a problem in the 20 somewhat years that I've been around. Nobody has complained about that. It has been what it has been. Nobody said anything. We've managed around that. And think about it. During the last 10 years, nobody said anything about lack of institutional support. It kind of is what it is. I would argue that the institution saved their asses the last couple of years because we had such a budget gap. But, you know, to blame the current situation on the lack of institutional support almost seems like a plan. It almost seems like a planted article that, you know, we're going to blame the UL administration from the where we find ourselves, which I think is absolutely bullshit. They've done nothing to reach out to the common fan. In fact, they've screwed over and pushed away the common fan. And now we're here and we're saying, well, it's not because of that. It's because of this. We're always looking to push the blame on someone else. I'll start with you, Jerry. Your thoughts on the article today. It didn't feel genuine. And look, I love Kevin. I'm not going to complain about Kevin. I think he does a great job, and I'm happy to have him giving UL coverage. But this seems out of sorts because it seems like he was given this information, and I'm not saying he's wrong for writing it in the way that he did, but interesting that at this time that's coming up. Of all the budget issues that we have, we're blaming it on the university and not our lack of connection with the community, Jerry. That's a problem.
That's definitely a problem. I also think that a lot of this has to do, and I'm glad Chris brings this up. Now that T-Joe's not here anymore, and now you have an interim president, I feel like athletics is starting to be more open about their issues, and they're starting to be more transparent about, well, we can't do this and we can't do that. Now, that doesn't change the fact that I don't want to hear excuses, especially when this has been institutionalized for a long time. We know that RCAF has not been separated from the foundation. I've known that for years. We also know that we haven't really gotten the institutional support. I said last week on here, the 3% that can otherwise go to athletics, we've never used before because we've never had to. And then last but not least, one of the big complaints that we've always talked about was lack of student fees, because in the state of Louisiana, you got to have a vote. You're not just given student fees, and they just don't hand out student fees to where students pay for it and it automatically goes to athletics, like a school such as JMU, which pays the student fees pay for most of their budget. So we've known all these issues have been around for decades. The problem that I have is like you said, Nick, why now? Why all of a sudden now, after all
Well, we know
of the
the
turmoil,
answer to why now, Jerry.
Well,
We
but
know
but
why now.
it's still a rhetorical question, and I think, in my opinion, now, and I talked to somebody about this earlier, and he brought up a very good point. I think now that you've got Ramesh as the interim president, and T-Joe's no longer there. I think number one, that UL or USL trough that we've always complained about, there's that presence still lingers. And I think it's a final plea. I think it's desperation by the athletic department to tell the public this is an issue, and it's a final plea to the public saying, look, we need help. But the problem that I have is, even though from a PR standpoint, you don't want to throw your old boss, T-Joe, under the bus, it was a problem that's been lingering for a long time. This is nothing new. It goes back to what I've said before, being reactive instead of proactive. If we knew this years ago, why didn't we come up with other plans or a plan B to not necessarily counter these facts, but find other sources of revenue, find other sources of income? Because that's one thing also in the article. We got to find other sources of revenue. We got to do the concerts at Cajun Field. We got to go to the university for different types of institutional support. Where was this effort 15 years ago? Why all of a sudden are we doing this now that we have deficits, now that we have a PR nightmare, now that the university, you're asking the university for institutional support and at 3%, and universities they don't have the money right now. This is the worst time to ask them for that. Again, reactive instead of proactive. That's my biggest complaint. We knew about this years ago. We should have done something about it years ago. We wait to the last minute, and you go ask the university out of desperation when they, of all times, don't have the resources to be able to fund athletics. So look, we put ourselves in this position. It is what it is. I feel sorry for nobody in that athletic office or the administration at Martin Hall in any of this, because we knew about it all along. So I don't want to hear the excuses. Yes, we're in a predicament right now, but it is what it is. And, should have reacted to this 20 years ago when we had the chance.
I find it funny. And I'm going to go back to this. And yes, use the beautiful new stadium to generate some revenue. I think we saw that today when we have a local coffee shop using our club level, but I don't know if they were in charge for that. You see, the problem is we don't generate revenue because we don't charge people for anything. In fact, we just gave away land, right, prime real estate by the university for a training center for ROTC. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? But that's the kind of shit that puts us in the position that we're in now, but we blame it on lack of institutional support. How about you charge people for shit that use your facilities and use your parking lot and use you and all these travel teams that use your facilities? Start charging them. We got to get revenue somehow. But also, I'm going to agree, we've run off the common fan. That is not a priority. And maybe they're going to start listening. I don't know. But what Chris said here, I thought was funny, KG, and I'm going to go to you next because I want to hear your thoughts on it. But, you know, the Learfield guy gets on Twitter after that is released and says, but we have the most sponsorships in all of the Sun Belt. Somebody said, I want to see those numbers, bro. I want to see those numbers too. You can say it, but is it true? We don't know. They don't open the books. They're not public. So they can't open the books. But they have the most sponsorships. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Right,
okay.
Right. No, it's just empty words. Until you're going to show me something, if you're going to post maybe a document with that and say, here's our sponsorship money compared to the rest of the Sun Belt, that's one thing. But if you're not going to post any reputable data to back that up, just shut up. Just shut up, because nobody's going to believe you. But going back to who was it? Demontre that says it's a political article. I believe that. And Nick, you started this little conversation by saying you don't want to knock Kevin. Kevin has been great. I know Kevin personally. He does wonderful work for both the Advocate and just sports in Acadiana in general. But my biggest gripe about that article, and I said in the group message with you guys, is that there was nobody from the institutional side to counter-argue what the administration was doing. So basically, you had Maggart, and he was just going on his little, tirade, and you had nobody from the institutional side to give a counterpoint or a counter view. That's a problem, especially when you're making accusations like this, right? Because this article is written by the Advocate, which is Lafayette's premier paper, and is going to be shared around, whatever. My second biggest thing is that you got the common casual fan that has no idea that the funds for the stadium does not tie into the budget. And I'm glad that they wrote a little snippet, explaining that. But I'm tired of all these comments on the Advocate's Facebook page or XYZ social media, basically fans of the TSAB or whoever commenting that don't know a damn thing, saying, well, if y'all wouldn't have built that stadium, maybe y'all have some money. It's two different budgets. One was privately funded, and one is the school's budget. Get over that. But that was my biggest knock, man. I mean, if you're going to post something like that, you have to have a rebuttal, somebody in the article from the institution side, because otherwise, like you'll say, it's a hit piece. And you're basically asking the university, the academic side, for help, for money, but you're doing it in the worst way possible. You went public with it. And if I'm in Martin Hall now, why would I want to help you now? These are conversations.
KG, we don't even have a freaking president right now.
Right,
so
but what I'm
saying
saying is
a system that we don't even have leadership for.
Right, and Jerry, you know more about this than I do. The vote is going to be coming up within, the next couple of weeks, the next month or so. So what I'm getting at, though, is why couldn't this have waited until we have a voted-in president? You can have conversations with the academics and the athletics together, figure out a way to raise this money to shorten up this deficit. But instead, you went after an institution that has an interim president, technically no leader that can make any real decisions until he gets voted in. Like I said, it's just a total hit piece. And lastly, in the article, Maggart says, selling tickets will not overcome the deficit of this budget. What I'm reading into that is the average fan is not going to make a dent in this budget. That's layman's terms for what I read. And then if you read further in the article, he said it's going to take, finding a business that wants to do like jersey patches or maybe like a logo on the court or on the field. So what you're saying is you have no interest going to the middle class and doing what you guys say. Hey, we need help here. Let's get the fans more involved because, they've been very off-putting for the past decade. They're just interested in going to, they want to go to these premier businesses that can actually put a patch on a jersey, put a logo on the floor, and we're just going to put a Band-Aid on the whole problem right then and there. So nothing's really going to get fixed. And I mean, good luck finding one of those premier businesses because you have no ROI right now. You're losing across the board. It's going to take you doing more with less and finally getting people to want to donate again to get the kind of dollars that you're asking for. And we're not there.
Well,
but yeah,
But wait, before you go, Jerry, I want to send a shout out to Jennifer. I know today was a tough day for you, my friend, but we're all pulling for you.
Hey,
we hope for the best.
That's right.
Keep your head up, and things have a way of changing and working in your favor, and you never know. Sometimes the worst things turn out to be the best things. So keep your head up, my friend. Go ahead, Jerry.
One thing I wanted to add too to your point, Cole, about how we're losing across the board. We are losing across the board financially and on the field. And so what the messaging that I get now, and I've noticed it over the last month, get out your checkbook. Give money to Cajun Edge because we need this, we need that. And it's almost this plea, again, this plea of desperation to say.
But it's not even a plea of desperation, Jerry, because it doesn't come from a place of sincerity. It's like, oh, we need this. Well, are you going to write a check for it?
That's what I'm saying. But that's
so they're not even doing it the right way. They're doing it in a way that's condescending to the people who you want to give you money.
But you know what? But it's both, Nick. It's both. There is that sort of disingenuous message, but then there's also a sense of desperation. Like, hey, we need the community to come in. The problem is you could have. Where was this years ago? You're doing it now, and you're doing it now in the not only when the university is bludgeoning money and having financial crisis and going through two different president changes or interim president changes. But again, we're not winning on the field. So like you're going in the community going, hey, we need this, we need that, we need this. Pull your checkbook out to go watch a 6-7 football team, to go see a softball team, which hopefully that, I know their season starts on Friday, but they look at last year, first time not making the tournament in 30 years. I mean, going to a basketball team that, yes, we won tonight, but the public sees an 8-16 record or a team that's struggling. They see, a baseball team that won 27 games last year. So you're asking at the worst possible time to give money to a bunch of programs that haven't been winning. We understand the intricacies of all these teams and the potential and the turnarounds that they can show, but the normal public, the general public that don't follow the Cajuns like us, they don't see it that way. And now finally you're going into those areas going, we need money. And like you said, it is a little disingenuous. It is, help us out, pull out your checkbook. Well, if you want to win, it's like the Cajun Edge thing last week. Well, if you want to be competitive and you want to win, pull out your checkbook. Why should I? Why should I?
Well, Jerry, it's also frustrating because this is shit we have been saying for the last 10 years.
Agreed.
We've been saying this for the last 10 years. And now all of a sudden today, it's like, well, we need your help. And look, if you're doing it the right way, if you actually acting like you care, and you're genuine and you're saying it's time for us to bridge, then that's one thing. But to be condescending and do it the way that you're doing it, we read that bullshit. We're Cajun
I'll say this. Okay. You don't want to be condescending and you want to be genuine. Come on our show and talk to us about it. Come talk to us about it.
We're going to get to that in a second.
No, seriously. Come talk to us about it. And so you can, because we are 4 big time fans who go to games and give and spend money and sacrifice our time to go watch the Cajuns. Come talk to us and say, here's our game plan, and have a communication. Don't go to the newspaper and say, well, it's the lack of institutional support, something that's been around for decades. Come talk. If you want to be, come talk to us.
Well, no, because we filed a FOIA, so they're not going to talk to us because now we're in timeout.
Timeout. They have no leverage. They have no leverage right now. They have no leverage right now whatsoever to decide or determine who to talk to, who not to talk to, put anybody in timeout. They don't have money to put us in timeout in right now. So I would just say, look, I mean, I'm giving you an open.
It's
invite.
also illegal to put us in timeout. I'm just going to go ahead and say that on air.
They do. They sure do. There's supposed to be no repercussions for doing that kind of shit, but here we are. and I'll tell you why in a second. RC, I've purposely stayed away from you on this side of things. Do you want to comment? Or are you good?
I'm pretty much good. You know, that all the administrative stuff, you know, y'all know a whole lot more than me, but the only thing that I do know is that if I spend $40 million and I only profit 11, there's an issue.
Well, it ain't only over here. I just want to say that. I want to get that out there. You look at Florida State and how much in debt they are.
No, and look, and I said that in the group chat too. Whenever Cole said that, what was it, $475 million? Like that's the new age of everything in college athletics now.
It's crazy.
They lead all
universities.
They lead all universities in terms of deficit, which is pain for me because neither one of my schools know how to manage a budget. So,
but they're also not making excuses. They're like, no, we got to do this to keep up with the Joneses.
Oh yeah, well they're a P4
I'd
school.
rather them say that.
Yeah.
I'd rather them say yes, we screwed up because we're not raising money like we should be.
They're a P4 school that wants to get back to being great in football, and they got to keep up with Miami in terms of recruiting.
By the way, that the NCAA absolutely ruined because of, or I should say the CFP committee actually ruined Florida State. How far did that set them back by saying they didn't belong because a player got hurt? Ridiculous.
Right. But no, I want to go back to what RC said. You know, you dropped one comment, you know, if you spend over 40 million and you only took in 11, that's the casual fan view. Like, why would I want to give you more money when you grossly mishandled the budget that you had? Like that, why would the common Lafayette citizen want to give up their salary to give to a school that doesn't know how to manage a budget? Like they have the perception in the athletic department right now is so tarnished because the perception is that nobody in there knows how to manage a budget. And there's no changes being made except, hey, open your checkbook and please help us get out of this. Well, how about you don't get yourself into that mess? You're spending like we're an SEC school when we're a mid-major, middle-of-the-road school. Like, you can't spend like we don't have the same budgets as these teams.
And that's a good point you bring up, Cole, because that is another thing I wanted to say, 8 or 9 years ago. It never came up as a problem for lack of institutional support because we actually reached close to a budget based on the money we spent. Based on the money we spent 5 or 6 years ago, it was a lot less than what we're spending now, to where that deficit increased over the last couple of years. So for the most part, we've always gotten the same amount of institutional support, but because we spent so much recently and we hired all these different positions, now that deficit has widened. So now we're like, well, I guess we need to go get more institutional support. Well, don't spend so much money. Don't spend so much money.
I mean, my question is this. We went, and you guys are a little bit older than me to know this. You went from Audemars, who was pinching pennies at every turn, and then you went from T. Joe, who was a lot more on the athletic side and was a lot more loose with the checkbook. So, that's also bad. I'm not going to say bad timing on this article, but now that T. Joe's out and the purse strings are being tightened again, now you're saying that the institution's not helping you. Because I guarantee you, T. Joe was basically saying, if you need something, come to me, we'll help you out. That man loved him some sports, especially softball. But that's to me, it's just this timing of this article and the way it was written, it's just a hit piece against Martin Hall. That's how I took it as a fan.
I think we could look. I think there should be a fine balance between Audemars and blank check, and I don't think there was any balance there. And I think we got fleeced as a stakeholder in the university, and we got lied to. We got straight up lied to. You understand? They inflated numbers, but also enrollment numbers. They inflated lots of things and told us things were one way and they weren't. There's a whole lot wrong with this university. Let's get that straight. And we got a lot of cleaning up to do, but at the same time, it has been this way for 20 plus years. You can't start blaming them today, Jerry. Now it's just an excuse.
No, exactly. And also, too, like I've always said, the institution itself and the athletic department for the longest time has never been on the same page. And if where I have a problem is if we knew we were going to be making more hires, if we knew we were going to be spending more money, if we knew that our expenses were going to increase, don't you think we would have found a way to generate revenue outside of just institutional support if we knew about this years before? Or at least have a conversation with Martin Hall and say, look, we're going to be making new hires. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. Hey, we need more money. Is there somewhere in the institution where we can get any institutional support. And I guess now we never had that conversation. So here we are.
I need RC to come back because I need to ask him if I could share the video that was sent in the group chat, because I think he knows who sent it and I want to play it, but I can't play it until I get permission from somebody to play it. So we're going to see in just a second if we're allowed to do that. But I think we beat this horse to death, guys. It has, I just don't think it's a great look for the university. I don't think it's a great look for athletics. And, just not feeling super great inside about that. Let's talk about Cajun softball before RC comes back, because guys, this crept up on us and our fault for not doing a preview before, but Cajun softball plays this weekend. Jerry, who we play this weekend? I need to look it up, but Cajun softball gets started next
Tulsa.
weekend. They play Tulsa. And look, this is a big season for Jaden Duggar in the chat, man. Jaden Duggar, dude, I feel important, dude. I feel privileged when guys like Jaden Duggar are watching us, but appreciate you, brother. Good you checking in. Playing Tulsa this weekend, guys. I feel like this is a big season for softball. I think we went through a transition period last year and things weren't great, but I think, we have to take some time to get things together and see how they go. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do on the softball field this year. Jerry, I know you're a huge fan. You go to every game.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But I know it's not a big focus here, but we will give some deserved attention to the ladies in the next couple of weeks. We've just been swamped with everything else going on, with the budget, with baseball stuff, with basketball on the upswing. We will get some content out there as well. Lucas Hill chiming in. Yes, we're going to definitely collab with those guys when SLU plays us. Always a good series in baseball. Enjoy playing Southeastern. And of course, another just kind of caveat to that would be former player now playing for Southeastern. So, there are going to be a lot of guys that we face this season that are going to be looking for revenge on the Cajuns. I hope we don't do like we did against Marshall and let them beat our ass. RC, do I have permission to share that video? Because I think it came from somebody No? Okay, we're not sharing that video. Okay, good. We're not.
No,
I wanted to ask you before I did.
Let me. I'm waiting for a response right now, but right now, no.
All right. No. I don't want to step on any toes. I'm not, the guy that's going to share it on his burner, like we know. Anyway, boys, so we've got that going on. We got Brad. We're still trying to get him on. Guys, anything else on your mind, Cajuns-wise? Jerry, what you got?
Man, I just, I'm excited about the Diamond Sports season. I mean, we all are. We all get excited. This year I've been a little more apprehensive for obvious reasons after last year, but I want to see if both softball and baseball, from a mental aspect, they turn it around, right? I mean, listening to Coach Deggs today talk about the baseball team and how the mindset's a little bit different this year. Of course, preseason hype is one thing, but I want to see those guys go out and prove it. And I think they're going to have a good test next week against a good Missouri State team. I think, again, the Taylor Sandifer and his pitching staff, that's what I'm looking at right now. That's kind of the key here. I hope they can get it done. I think that team is very talented on paper. But, man, if we're here in May, guys, having another post game because we lost to a bad Sunbelt team at home, I just don't know how I'm going to react to it. I have no idea. Remember, I was looking at that one of the videos, I think last week, Nick. We had a post game. I believe it was a Thursday night game the last weekend of the regular season against Arkansas State. They had shut us out. And we had a 2-hour just rant. And Cole, what's funny is this is before you joined Rage and Review, and you were commenting like crazy on it. And we're losing our minds about how bad it was. And then the very next night, we get run ruled. I'm just like, could this get any worse? Dude.
Well,
so let's hope for no more of that this year.
Yeah, and we are going to do reaction shows on Sundays after series. Even if it's just me, whoever can join, great, hop on. But we are definitely going to open the phone lines for that and get your guys' thoughts after a weekend series. So I look forward to that as well, because those are some fun episodes. Good question here. By the way, I do want to say we got to highlight track, and I need to get all of the stuff that just recently happened because men and women's track and field broke so many Sunbelt and UL records this past weekend. I need to get the list together, but those guys worked their ass off. Those guys and ladies worked their ass off, and they had an amazing weekend, and I got to give a shout out to the men and women's track teams, and I think we might get Dan McDonald to maybe come back on because Dan McDonald loves him some track and field. So,
Nick,
yo,
go ahead and post it.
all right. I'm not gonna say where this came from, boys, but this is exciting. I can't wait to share this. Let me get this on the screen. You know, big win by the basketball team tonight, and enjoyed watching them. I think they enjoyed the win too. Here's a little not sneak peek. Here's a little Shaws that we just got from our boys on the basketball team. Here we go. I think they're a little excited. I think they're a little pumped to beat JMU, baby. You see, they don't need the music. They make their own music. We got White Gravy in the background, dude. That's awesome. Thank you for getting the permission to post that because that's amazing, guys. Another thing that we do want to kind of touch on is let's go back in the comments. We had someone talk about the baseball players coming on the show. Would love that, guys. I would absolutely love players to come on the show, and I do want to give a huge shout out. I want to give a huge shout out to our guys at the Sunbelt Syndicate that somehow managed to get coaches and players from the baseball team on their show this week. Because, you know, podcasts don't do interviews with coaches or players. Very impressive, guys, that they were able to do it. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it would be nice if we as the only show in the entire world that is dedicated solely to Louisiana. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Drew, I will say, you know, we are thinking about getting a baseball ambassador. We have a few ideas in our head, so look forward to that. But you know, I don't think the other show has an ambassador. I think they just asked permission and we're giving it. Any of you boys want to comment on that? I see.
Yeah,
you.
I do. No, I'm hot, and I'm the newest one.
I'm
hot. I can't.
But I know. But you see, Jerry and I do this every year, and nothing changes. But I'll give you the floor to talk about it.
Why? And I know they feel some type of way about us because we are a media that they can't control. We're going to ask hard questions. We're going to have hard conversations. Sometimes, not sometimes, pretty much 50-50 in a poor light. If you do things the wrong way, we're going to call you out for it. But, like, at the end of the day, you know, we're just 5 guys, or 6 guys if you count RC now. We're 6 guys that went to this school, that loved this school, that graduated from this school. And it's really disheartening. So the mantra or the rule that we've always been told is that we don't allow our coaches or our players to go on fan-driven podcasts. Well, it's really disheartening when I open up Ragin' Cajun Baseball Fan on Facebook and I'm seeing a guy from Sunbelt Syndicate post a intro or a podcast video of Coach Tibb and 3 of our starting baseball players where they're doing a 2-hour-long interview asking them questions like, Who's the locker room DJ? If you could play a winter sport in the Olympics, what would it be? Like, don't you think that's the kind of crap we would love to do here? You don't think we would like to bring our a coach or a player on weekly and just chop it up? Like, why is a local podcast that is solely dedicated to your athletics, all major sports, being blackballed, not allowed to talk to coaches, not allowed to talk to players? We have players literally right now in the comments watching the show. Clearly they respect the coverage that we give them because we are real people that talk real sports and breakdowns in XYZ. I don't want to go deeper into it. It's just a really bullshit rule that you're going to say that they are not allowed to go on fan-driven podcasts, and then we turn around and turn on Facebook, and you see an assistant baseball coach and 3 starters on the baseball team doing a podcast with somebody that is not local. But lastly, I want to say this, and this is not about the admin. Sunbelt Syndicate does a wonderful job covering not only the Cajuns, but the entire Sunbelt. This is not a knock on them. Thank you for your coverage of the Cajuns. Really, that goes to anybody in our market that covers the Cajuns. We are all running the same race. That goes for Jamarcus, that goes for Fishbowl, XYZ. Thank all of you guys. But admin, you got to pull the wool over you. You got to get that wool off your face, bro. It's time to change some rules and start expanding your market and start expanding your brand and start including the average fan who has nothing but love for this school, but you make it very damn hard.
KG, I'm not going to say change your rules because the rules are there, but they break them for everyone else.
It's called gatekeeping and moving the goalpost. Quit gatekeeping and quit moving the goddamn goalpost.
Well, look, I am never going to apologize for saying what's on my mind. I'm never going to apologize for saying what others are telling us they feel. And I'm never going to apologize for not always being positive. And I'll say this again, we never want to be negative. We'd love to be positive 100% of the time. But take a look around. This ain't exactly, the best in times. And we're trying to be the best and most positive that we can. But also, we're going to call out bullshit when there's bullshit. And we're not a propaganda machine, and we're not going to come on here and do an article for you that says how bad you have it. We're not going to do that. We're going to call you out and say you need to do a better job. RC?
Yeah, I got a lot to say about this, but I'm going to keep it pretty short and simple. Y'all been doing this for a long time, even before you were on, Nick. They got the other guys that along with Jerry that started it. To think that something that grew so organically, that started out just as a podcast and grew to thousands of viewers every single week on an actual a YouTube stream, to being recognized by the players, even by the coaches as well, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. To think that you could get the vice president of intercollegiate athletics on the show to discuss some things and nothing else happens after that. But at the same time, they want to say that you or me or whoever on here is being negative whenever they get softball questions lobbed to them from the old guard, I guess you could say. And then you got Foot that's talking about this is the worst year in athletics history, which is 100% right. It's 100% true. This is the worst year in my 42 years of my life that I have ever seen, whether it be basketball, baseball, football. Basketball, I'm talking about basketball last year coming into this year with football and baseball, softball, everything. Now basketball's starting to, show some signs of life, but this man has a radio show on 103.7 every single day for 2 hours. He writes for The Advocate. He straight up dogged the whole administration and the whole athletic year for the past year. He talks to Aquinas White every Tuesday for 15 minutes every Tuesday morning. Why does he get a pass? Because he has credentials from 103.7 and The Advocate. I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why are they more important? Because they have a bigger voice? Like, what's going on?
RC, why did a podcast that lasted 6 months get credentials to be on the sideline and in the press box during football season? And by the way, I emailed them and said, hey guys, it looks like you have expanded your range as far as credentials are going, as far as credentials, we'd love to be included. Could we have that conversation? Crickets. Never got a response. Not even a thank you, F you, nothing. Just didn't respond to us.
Yeah,
that tells us everything we need to know, and it's just exhausting because we come back to the same thing every year, and I'm tired of talking about it. But at the same time, this stuff keeps happening, and it's like you said, we're never going to bend the knee ever, and that's what we were told we had to do. We have to bend the knee and do get the message they wanted us to get and kick certain people off this podcast and rebrand and change our name. Like literally was told we had to do all of this stuff. And then maybe in a year, if we do it all, then maybe we could get coaches and players on. Meanwhile, this guy, again, Sunbelt Syndicate, loved him. They're interviewing coaches and players.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad when you have to basically, when you have to give a kid NIL money and make them the ambassador of your brand just to have a player be able to come on this podcast. I mean, we love Caden Jensen. We probably would have did it anyway. I'm just saying that is the only player on a current roster that is allowed to come on this show because we give him an NIL. Like he is the brand ambassador of Rave and Review. He gets a payment for that. But that's the only way we can get anybody on. It has to be cleared even to do that. But yeah, that's what rubs me the wrong way. It's really disheartening to see a podcast that does a great job, but they're not local. They have no ties to the Cajuns. You open up Facebook, and how would it make you feel to see a coach and 3 players chopping it up with the guys on that podcast when we've just been completely blackballed from any conversations? And that's including the email that Nick sent that had no response. So it's we're just chasing our tails. It feels.
I can't even interview
terrible.
my brother on this show. My own brother can't come on here because they won't approve it. Now, by the way, I do want to give a shout out to our guy Blake at AYS Sports because I freaking hate the Tigers and I think he does a really, really good job at what he does, even though he's been trolling lately, and I don't like that. But you know what? I troll TSAT fans all the time. But Blake does a really, really good job with AYS Sports. Lane Kiffin's retweeting his shit all the time, conversing with him, having a good time, thinks it's funny, retweet some of his stuff. But we're the enemy. You know, and we could probably get, if we played TSAB, I mean, we got their softball coach, we got their baseball coach. I guarantee you Lane Kiffin would come on our show. We can't even get our assistant coaches, our pitching coaches, our graduate assistant coaches to come have a conversation because we said we thought it was time for Marlon to move on. That was the excuse at first, and then it became all kind of other excuses. But
because LSU's department is in the belief that if we can go anywhere to spread our word, no matter if it's a couple hundred, a couple thousand, a couple 100,000, we're going to take you up on that offer to do so. And they're not the only ones. I want to say Troy, whenever y'all interviewed Troy's head coach in baseball last year, he said awesome, the same thing. Yeah, he was one of the best interviews y'all did. But he said the same thing. Anytime I have an opportunity to get invited on Rival Podcast or just anywhere in general, I'm always going to take that opportunity to go spread the brand of what my team is, what the university is. And that's the way it should be. Right?
KG, we had Tommy McClellan, the guy that we bashed for 5 years on this show, and he became our freaking friend. He agreed to an interview. He didn't have to do that. In fact, he probably shouldn't have. I'd have said screw off. Dude came on this show, rehabbed his image with the Cajuns, and now we're best friends.
They came to our tailgate too, by the way.
Came to our tailgate, which I missed, unfortunately. I'm pissed about that.
But going back to it, I mean, if you're securing interviews with Jay Johnson and Beth Torino, not only Beth Torino, but Beth Torino and Yvette Gerard at the same time on the same show. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, we are well equipped enough to be able to just do simple interviews with coaches and players on a regular basis. It doesn't even have to be hardball questions. It could just be we could just be talking about breakdowns of who we're playing that weekend. I would love to get Lee Amadei on here to say, hey, we're playing Troy this weekend. What do you see from their pitching staff? What do you expect? Like, that's all we're asking for. Our fans, us, I'm a fan. We're fans first. We just want insight from what a player is thinking at any given time, what a coach is thinking at any given time. We're not going to sit here and grill them about the goddamn budget. They don't know anything about that. We just want to know. We want some behind-the-scenes look about what's going on in our program. That's all we're asking for.
Well, we don't even want it for us. We want it for the guys who are in the chat who come every single week and 20 minutes before we go on air are sitting there in the chat waiting for us to come on because they want to hear what we know. You know, it's about, like, you talk about community engagement, but then you don't want to engage with the community.
But they do engage with they do engage with the guys at the chat. When they see the guys in the chat, you know what they say? Where's your checkbook?
Well, KG, it's like when I told you, I talked about you to one of the people in the administration. I'm like, hey, we got Cole joining us. He'll be great. And what was the first thing they said? He's an asshole. You don't even know the guy. Never talked to him in your life.
No comment.
This is
What's
what
the
we're
old
dealing
saying?
with,
Never meet your heroes. That's the old saying. Anyway, but look, I wanted to go back to this comment right here. Gumbo and Grind. He said, "I don't know if Lane would come on because you need a hot 24-year-old blonde. You know what my solution to that is, RC? Let's get Doug on the show and just throw a blonde wig on him."
in the costume, in the Natty Light costume. Oh man, that'd be great. Well, boys,
he said, I can't do it at least for the next 2 months.
Yeah, for the next 2 months. Did he get put in timeout by his job? Like, what? His daddy got mad. Like, I know Denny wouldn't get mad. He don't give a shit. So he must have gotten in trouble with somebody.
I think Mama got mad whenever she heard us laughing whenever he put that costume on that night.
I mean, we laugh at ourselves. I mean, who wasn't laughing at that? My dude was struggling in the closet.
No, just
all right,
in
boys.
general. In general. Not,
Boys.
not at him, with him.
Yeah. Boys, we're over 2 tonight, man. Brad just texted you. Jerry said he's not going to make it. This is why.
He's coaching right now, and their game started much later than it was supposed to. So,
and JT could make it in at this time, but it's too late at this point. I mean, we're knocking at 9 o'clock, so I told him we'll move it. So, yeah, guys, sorry. This is why we like to pre-record shit, because this happens more than you know when you're doing interviews. Like, people have stuff come up and you have to move it. So we typically record it beforehand and play it on here. We try to go we try to go live and it just didn't work, but we will get them back on here. I promise. Like
we'll get them back on here. Yeah.
JT wants to come on now, but I'm like,
and Brad does too.
We can't do it. Yeah, it's too late. We got.
So are we doing a Grimmies, or we just?
I'm about to say. I mean,
we're gonna do a Grimmies. Y'all chill.
It's only 9 o'clock. It's only 9 o'clock, Nick.
Chill.
All right.
Y'all chill. Y'all chill. We got Grimmies to go. You know.
About to say we could chop up 30 minutes with JT if he wants to come.
By the way, I do. Look, if you want to call in live and give RC your thoughts right now, call us, because I got that working. So we do have the phone line working tonight. Let me text JT back, see how long he would be to get set up. But before we do that, let's do Grimmies, boys. Brought to you by Lafayette Travel and Eat Lafayette. As my mother would say in French, but I cannot find that clip anymore since I changed my shawls on my board. Grimmies tonight is, what is your Mardi Gras parade that you go to every year? What is your parade, and where are you going to watch it from? KG, I feel like you probably have the best answer out of all of us, so I'm not going to you first. Jerry, what's your parade in Lafayette? Don't give me that New Orleans shit. I know New Orleans has huge parades. A lot more fun, a lot more throws. Let's talk about Lafayette area. What's your parade going to? Where are you going to watch it?
It varies. We usually do. And I know you hate to say about New Orleans, because I do ride in one of the parades on Saturday, so I'm never able to go to Bonaparte.
We know, Jerry.
I'm probably gonna say Rio, even though I haven't been there in a while. The reason why is because of the weather. We like Rio. It kind of kicks off the Mardi Gras season. We usually stand by the Horticulture Center. We park at Blackham Coliseum. We walk to the Horticulture Center across from Fatima. We have a bunch of friends that are usually there along the barricade. It's easy to get in, easy to get out. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Rio. I'm hoping this weekend the weather cooperates, because Kayla and I want to bring Allie out there. She loves the Mardi Gras parade. So, yeah, I'm going to say Rio. Rio's my go-to in Lafayette.
I'm going to come back to you with Lafayette Cruise as far as Mardi Gras Cruise. Jerry, I know you belong to a Mardi Gras crew in New Orleans, but if you attended any balls over here, we're going to go to that next. But RC. Any parades you like to attend? Where are you going to watch it from?
Yeah, well, ever since I grew up a little bit, I kind of, Mardi Gras is really not my thing, but I got a 15-year-old daughter now, and
man, we getting old. That's all I'm saying. We getting freaking old, bro. She
loves Mardi Gras, and Rio is always the one, kicking off or whatever. But back in the day, the Scott Parade was the shit, man. Like that's what we did. Scott Parade. Man, and by the way,
we were gonna blame these two right here and the other one, because I was like, we're gonna ride in Scott Parade this year. 337 DJ Menace here. He was gonna hook us up with a float. Like, all we had to do was pay the entry fee, get throws, go in the parade, have a damn good time. And these guys are freaking lame and didn't want to do it. So blame them, because you could have been riding in the Scott Parade. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to bitch about that. Go ahead, RC. Yeah, Q time, bruh. Q-Time, you got in there when you were 15 years old, and that was old.
Yeah. And now we're sitting over there eating oysters. We used to eat the real good oysters back in the day. Now we gotta settle for the oysters now.
Ball, you were getting the pearl. I just gotta say the Q-Time grill next door, bruh, like that was so underrated because they had that greasy ass grill that was probably 100 years old, never been clean, but you never had a better burger. I'm telling you. It's almost like the Legends Burger on Bertrand, the LOB. When you go there, they would do the burgers on the little George Foreman. That was the best freaking burger you ever had. I'm just saying. I don't know why. And I agree. Menace.
So what we're gonna do on Saturday is we're gonna go to the basketball game at 3:00, and we'll probably take a little siesta, and then we're gonna head over to right next to Sylvan's and Old South Realty. My mom's friends from way back in the day, they got a nice little spot right there, and we'll try to get the kids some beads.
By the way, I wanted to tell Adrian, so I've done the run, the Mardi Gras run. Last year I didn't do it, and this year I'm not going to do it again. But man, I used to do that back in the country for 6 or 7 years. That was so fun, man. And it was a small group. It was in Oberlin. There were probably like 20, 30 guys, 7 or 8 horses. I drove the music truck and played music as we did our thing. But dude, that is so fun. And the first time I did it, I'm like, it was like 5:30 in the morning. We have to be there to load up because we have this long ass, you got to get all the way from the country in Oberlin to the less country in Oberlin. And, dude, 5:30 in the morning, they're like, all right, here's your beer. And I'm like, it's 5:30 in the fucking morning. And they're like, here's your beer. And then you have a stop and they give you some donuts, and you have a stop and they give you some boudin. Then Kevin Nalkin's there. So he's got a little spot we stop at. Dude, I'm telling you, if you've never done it, you gotta do it. And if you want to do it in a year, let me know, because I got the crew to do it with. But as far as for me, I mean, Scott, I'm with you, bro. The Scott Mardi Gras is crazy. I don't know if I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna be there Saturday through Thursday in Lafayette, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, because I do want to kind of go to Mandeville at some point and look at some houses on the North Shore. So we'll figure that out. But Ryan, before we go, we need to talk about if we're going to have a card game on Saturday night or Sunday. KG, talk to me. What's your parade? Where are you going to watch it from?
So I'll start with the Scott Parade. Being from Scott, Judice area, that is my go-to. Been going to that. I mean, the only reason we miss the Scott Parade is if it's raining and freezing. I mean, I don't play around with cold weather. You'll know that. As far as where we go for that parade, this might not be a popular answer, but we are friends with the Fry family. They let us have a section of their parking lot at Billy's where, my family, our friends, we can kind of gather there, cook there, and then, we have the parade there. Now, that has kind of stopped because my parents are getting a little bit older. We haven't done that the past couple years. We actually plan on possibly going to Uncle T's. That's basically where the party is now for the Scott Parade. If you want to have a good time, drink some beer, have fun, pretty much the meeting point is at Uncle T's in Scott. As far as Lafayette parades go, I'm a Saturday night guy. Rio, I think, is Saturday night, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's just the one for me where it makes the most sense. Because Friday, you might be working the Friday. It's hard to get your family together and then go out Friday night. Saturday, you can make a day of it, right? So we used to have a camper spot out there. A bunch of friends we used to have a camper right underneath the Drug Emporium sign that we've had for decades. And even before that, I want to drop this in there. My dad used to cook for the athletic department every Mardi Gras when Big Lynn was alive. So my dad would cook the jambalaya under the big tents right by the tunnel for the football field. So when I say like we were in the curve of Reinhardt growing up, like that's where I grew up in Mardi Gras. I remember going to the big tents, riding the trash can lids down the big hill and down the football tunnel. That's how I grew up. But like I said, after, Big Lynn passed and things kind of changed, we went to our camper spot at Drug Emporium. Now we even lost that. We're not doing that anymore. So I don't know where we'll be this year. It's our first year that we don't have the camper underneath the Drug Emporium sign. I will say this. I have a lot of friends that have RVs up and down the lot. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to find one that we'll go and hang out with. I think I have a couple of guys that I know that have campers behind the scoreboard. Might end up there Saturday night. So we'll see. But that's my two answers. Scott Parade, I mean, being from there, and then that Saturday night Rio parade.
We might have to hook up for Scott. When is Scott? Is that next weekend? This weekend?
No, that's this weekend, Saturday.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not going until next weekend. But Menace, hit me up, brother. I will. I don't know when that parade is, but I'll make it. I'll do it.
It's next Saturday.
Yeah, that I can do.
I've never been to, like, I know there's the Karen Crow parade, the Youngsville parade. I've never been to a small town parade here before, and I heard it's pretty intense.
Hey, is the Scott Parade on the 13th?
No, the Scott
Like
Scott
the same
parade's
day as the Blu-ray?
the Scott parade
Oh,
is
this
this
weekend.
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about Boo-Ray, by the way, Constable Landry. Are we doing that? Are we going to do that next weekend?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I would wait. I would wait if possible until Mardi Gras is done. Because you got a lot going on in these next.
Well,
you got baseball starting, Mardi Gras.
Well, my thought was we do it after the baseball game because baseball's at 2:00. We can do it after. We'll get we'll get some sponsorship money. We'll hook RC up with some drinks and maybe some, we'll make it nice. RC, what you thinking, babe?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever y'all want to do, man. Look, if y'all want to do a little tailgating after the baseball game, then come over here. 7:00. That'll be good.
Okay. Maybe. Are you inviting your mama? We'll invite Thelma and your mama. I think that's a terrible idea, actually. Okay,
Hell yeah.
We'll talk. And those who have inquired about some Boo-Ray playing, we'll get you in this first time, and then we'll go from there. But I think that'll be a good time. We'll have to come up with some rules and all that shaws, and we're gonna do a buy-in. I don't know. We'll figure that out. We got 2 weeks.
We gotta do a charge fee at the door fee.
Hell
Get
yeah.
to the backyard, you got to pay a charge.
Yeah, just like some Tony Soprano shit. The all night, poker game. This is gonna be some Boo-Ray shit. So we got it. All right. Yeah, Menace, hit me up. I'd love to see you out there. All right, boys. Last question before we go. Favorite ball that you've been to in Lafayette? I swear to God, RC, I'm not gonna say Apollo because I've never been to Apollo, despite what you think. But I used to belong to Olympus. I loved Olympus for a while. Then that got kind of weird, so I quit. Triton is my favorite ball of all time, guys. Triton is in the big Cajun Dome, like not that little small straws next door. It's in the Cajun Dome. They have freaking marching bands. They have cars driving around. Triton is such, I don't know why more people, like I know Rio's a big deal, but like Triton is the shit. I don't know why more people don't talk about Triton. But to me, that's the best ball to go to in Lafayette. Jerry, your thoughts?
Nick, you're going to be mad at me, dude. I never understood. I've been to Bonaparte, and it was okay. It was in the convention center. We went Kayla and I went one time. I never really understood the big thing about Mardi Gras balls here, bigger than the parades. I always grew up that the parade was bigger than the Mardi Gras ball. So it was kind of a culture shock for me when I moved here.
Well, Triton has a parade during the ball, so that's even better.
Yeah, you see, like with Endymion, that's what we do. We go through the Superdome. So like
and the parade ends in the Superdome at the ball.
It goes through the Super.
Yeah,
So like
yeah,
that's what I'm used to. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You go to the Endymion Extravaganza, you're on the floor of the Superdome with 12,000 people. I mean, it's a little bit different than what I've been to here. Nothing against Bonaparte, nothing against the cruise, but still, like when I moved here, a bunch of my friends were like, "Man, the Mardi Gras balls are great," and I'm like, "Okay, I guess it's cool." I don't know. I'm more of a parade guy. But the Bonaparte ball we went to, the great thing about it was we knew most of the people there, so it was pretty fun. But I'm with you, Nick. I kind of wish like more of the Mardi Gras balls here would have like the parades roll through. I think that'd be pretty badass,
RC, what did you think? Any balls that you like attending here?
Well, Triton is the only ball that I've ever been to, and
dude, it's so awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, and this was whenever this is right after, or either right after or right before the Saints won the Super Bowl. So that was in 2010.
Oh, yeah.
That's the last and only ball that I've ever been to, and it was awesome. But like I said, I'm not really a big Mardi Gras person overall, but I had a good time that night.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Many a time at Triton. I heard White Lotus a lot of fun, but that's also country as hell. Like you ain't going there to like
shout out to Clinton Pogies.
How about my boy Jared, bro? He's a big dog out in out in the crow with that. You know, Joyce would not be proud if she saw what Jared did at the wide load, but we're not going to talk about that. KG, any final thoughts? What's your thoughts as far as Mardi Gras balls in Lafayette go?
Man, first, shout out to JB Jared Bro. J Boogie is what my kids call him.
I threw the Jared Bro. You know, me and Jared went to school together in like middle school. We played baseball together. Like Joyce would come to games with Thelma and they watch us play. He was a catcher. I was a second baseman. Like we go way back, bro.
J Boogie, man. Yeah, proud Section A member. Love Jared. But this might be an unpopular answer. And I'm laughing because I don't know whether it was Chris Logan and his little Facebook or whether it was 107.9 this morning. Somebody said, I've lived in Lafayette.
His little Facebook.
Hey, but the question of the day was, I lived in Lafayette my whole life, but I've never done blank. I've never been to a Mardi Gras Bowl, boys. It's just not, I mean, that's not what my parents did. It's not how I grew up. I mean, I'm an adult now. I could go if I want to. I'm just saying it's not something that I grew up around. You know,
there's nothing wrong with that, dude.
Yeah, I've never been to a Mardi Gras ball, and that's not to say I wouldn't have fun. I enjoy dressing up and all that stuff, but it's just not something I grew up with.
It depends which ball you go to. Some balls are like very, very, strict, and then you have wide load, which is the opposite of everything. But I'm telling you, bro, I'm gonna find a way.
But wide load was built on people like me. It was just country people that said, you know what, let's just get together and have a good time. Well, it actually grew into what it is now, which is a Mardi Gras ball.
Shit. So I will just say that is some country.
That would probably be the Mardi Gras ball that I would most fit into if
but
I'm
you
being honest.
See what's so funny
is it sounds like
is that like Karen Crow has wide load, which is so irreverent, and you do whatever, and then you got the Scott ball, which is Olympus, and they're very strict. Like if you don't have a full length dress, like you can't come in if you're not, like it's very strict. So it's just funny how Karen Crow and Scott are so different there. Because Scott has class and Karen Crow is Karen Crow. Anyway, had to throw that jab in. Boys, it's been a lot of fun, guys. And unlike athletics administration, we're upfront with you. Unfortunately, JT and our boy Brad both I wouldn't say next to us, but they weren't able to make it. And JT was trying to make it and suggested he come on, but I said, no, we're good. We're past the mark and we need to wrap it up tonight. So we don't want to have a 3-hour episode, but we will definitely have JT on again. I know Brad, he's ready to come on. He's just, people have lives and
he's got a game to win. He's coaching a game right now.
Dude's coaching a game and we're here talking about, well, sorry, you can't make it. Well, there are reasons, boys, but we appreciate you for all joining us tonight and experiencing the craziness. RC, thank you for coming on. You kind of filled in a little bit of that dead air.
Go to the Cajun Dome, 3:00 Saturday. Watch the Cajuns go for 4 in a row. We got to support those boys. They're playing hard. Let's go.
No shit. No, really. And by the way, you can also go to softball games this weekend. Even though we don't talk about them enough, we will.
And shout out to Dorian Finister, baby. Way to hit that 3 and win the ball game, man.
They're watching. They're watching. I'm just saying. Some of those boys are watching. It's cool. Like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate all the support we have from you. If you enjoy our shows, please tell your friends because we love to continue building the Cajun across the nation. For my boy RC who joined us tonight, for Jerry, for KG, my name is Nicholas. Y'all, thanks for joining us. Again, we appreciate you being a part of Rage and Review. And as always, go Cajuns.